She stepped right in front of my gate, blocking my truck like she owned the road. "It's after 7, she snapped, arms crossed. "Neighborhood rule, you can't leave your property at night without clearance from the HOA. I laughed, thinking she was joking. "Clearance? This is my land." Her eyes narrowed. "Not anymore. You signed the agreement." "I never signed anything," I said. But before I could move, 2 men in black jackets came from the shadows. No badges, just smug grins and cheap radios. One grabbed my arm, yanking me back toward the porch. "That's enough inside." "Now," the taller one barked. My pulse spiked. They weren't cops. They were just playing the part. But I didn't. Fight, I wanted them to think they had the upper hand. Karen smirked, tilting her head like she'd already won. "You're not leaving tonight," she said. "Break our rules, you pay the price." I stared at her for a long second, and then smiled. She had no idea whose driveway she was standing in. The taller guy shoved me toward the porch, but I planted my feet and didn't move an inch. His surprise flickered for just a second, but Karen's voice cut in fast. "Don't test him, just get him inside." Inside? That told me everything. They weren't trying to enforce a curfew. They wanted me off the street, away from witnesses. I let them push, acting like I was cornered. But my eyes were already scanning streetlight on the corner, 2 security cameras across from my place. "Perfect. You know this is illegal, right?" I said, loud enough for the mic in my porch light to catch every word. Karen stepped closer, lowering her voice. "No one's going to believe you. You're just one guy against the HOA. I leaned in slightly. "One guy? You might want to check who you're talking to." Before she could reply, a familiar crackle came through my phone in my pocket, 3 short bursts. The signal. My people were already on their way. Karen thought she had me trapped. But in about 60 seconds, she'd learned she was the one surrounded. Karen must have noticed the shift in my expression because she stepped back a little, but it was too late. The distant hum of engines grew louder. Headlights cutting through the dark, the 2 fake enforcers spun toward the street just as 3 black SUVs rolled up, stopping bumper to bumper across my driveway. Doors swung open and boots hit the pavement fast, controlled, in perfect formation. One of my guys called out, "Hands where we can see them." Karen froze, her voice shaky now. "We'll wait. Who are they?" I took a slow step toward her. "Federal Tactical Unit, you know, the ones my wife trains." The taller fake cop's hand twitched toward his jacket pocket, but he didn't make it halfway before 2 officers had him face down on the gravel. The other one tried to run, but a K9 took him down in 3 strides. Karen's mouth opened and closed like she was trying to find words. All she managed was, This is a mistake." "No," I cut her off, my tone sharp. "The mistake was thinking you could own me on my own land." The officers moved with quiet precision, cuffing the 2 men before hauling them toward the SUVs. Karen's hand shook, but she tried to keep her chin high. You can't just do this. I'm the HOA president. I make the rules here." Almost laughed. "Rules? You forged a curfew, sent fake enforcers, and tried to detain me on my own property. It's not rules, that's a crime." She glanced toward the neighbors' houses as if someone might step in. Instead, a few doors opened and people came out with their phones raised. Every second of her downfall was getting recorded. One of the tactical officers approached me. "Sir, we have confirmation both men are wanted for impersonating law. Enforcement in 2 other counties." I nodded. "Add trespassing and assault to that list." Karen's face went pale. "Wait, I didn't know they were fake cops." "Funny," I said, "because I have your voice on my security feed telling them to drag me inside." She opened her mouth to argue, but the sound of a real sheriff's cruiser pulling up shut her down completely. In the next few minutes, she'd be the one in the back seat. The sheriff stepped out, his boots crunching on the gravel, eyes scanning the scene before locking on Karen. "Ma'am, step forward." Karen tried a shaky smile. "Oh, thank God you're here. These men are—" "They're my deputies," the sheriff cut in, his voice flat. "And from what I've been told, you're the one in trouble tonight." Her head whipped toward me. "You set me up." I folded my arms. "No, You set yourself up. I just made sure the truth showed up on time. Sheriff gestured to one of his deputies. Cuff her. Charges trespassing, conspiracy, and aiding impersonators. Karen's voice broke into a screech. You can't arrest me. I'm the HOA president. This whole neighborhood belongs to us. The sheriff didn't even blink. Lady, the only thing you own right now is a ride to county jail. As they walked her to the cruiser, the neighbors clapped and cheered from their porches. Some even shouted, "About time." I just stood there, watching her get shoved into the back seat, thinking how fast power crumbles when it's built on lies. But I wasn't done yet. There was still one thing she didn't know, and it was going to finish her for good. Karen sat stiff in the back of the cruiser, glaring at me through the glass. But her eyes flickered with something new fear. I walked up to the sheriff's window and handed him a small flash drive. This is the footage from my cameras, I said. You'll want to see the part where she signs off on that fake curfew order. The sheriff raised an eyebrow. And where'd you get that? I smiled. She left it taped to my door. Guess she didn't notice the doorbell cam. Staring her in the face, Karen's face twisted as she realized what I'd just given them. That's private HOA business. She can't. Oh, I can, I said calmly, and I just did, 'cause this isn't an HOA issue anymore. It's federal. The sheriff leaned on the cruiser door. Ma'am, you might want to call a lawyer. This curfew stunt violates multiple civil rights laws. Her jaw dropped. Civil rights? This is a neighborhood rule. It's a kidnapping attempt, the sheriff interrupted. And the DA's gonna love this one. As the cruiser pulled away, I felt the night air finally settle quiet around me. But in the distance, I saw more porch lights turning on, neighbors whispering to each other. They'd just learned what? I already knew this wasn't just a crazy HOA rule. This was the start of something bigger. I was ready for the rest of them. The SUVs began to roll out, taking the fake cops with them, but I stayed put on my porch, scanning the street. A few neighbors edged closer, their voices low but urgent. One man stepped forward. You think it's over? She wasn't the only one pushing this curfew. I studied him, meaning. He glanced over his shoulder, then leaned in. Half the board's in on it. They've been meeting off the books, talking about enforcement measures. Enforcement, I said slowly. Not fines, not letters. People disappearing from their homes if they don't follow the rules. The words hit harder than I expected. My wife's unit had taken down plenty of local thugs, but this was something else organized, confident, and hiding behind community bylaws. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. A text from my wife. 2 more vans leaving HOA HQ following now. Get ready. I looked back at the man. Go home. Lock your doors. He hesitated. What are you going to do? I gave a tight smile. Finish what we started tonight, 'cause if they thought hauling off their president would scare me, they hadn't met the guy who trained the people who put her in handcuffs.